Drew Albaugh alongside manager of the Walla Walla Sweets, Colby Watilo, for another edition of Countdown with Colby. Coach, I'm wearing a new shirt for the first time in this program history. What do you think of it?
It's great. Yeah, very nice. It's a nice material.
Thanks.
Yeah, you look great.
Appreciate it. You got the red hat on, a little bit of a winning streak a couple weeks ago when you guys last wore it. Maybe get some juju going.
Yeah, try to get the red hat. I think today isn't it Christmas?
Yes.
In July?
Was that coming into the reasoning?
That's part of the reason why I got the red hat today.
Favorite Christmas song?
Silent Night.
Silent Night. Wow, a classic, guy. I like it. Do you like Christmas?
I do. Yeah, I love Christmas.
Me as well. It's a good time of the year. No baseball. It's hard to play baseball. That's kind of sucks.
But once you get to Christmas and get past Christmas, it's like baseball's right around the corner.
Right, that's true.
2 meetings and then spring training is only a month and a half out.
So Christmas is like the gift that then you get.
Yeah.
You get baseball right around the corner, huh?
You could say that.
Sweets got some baseball not right around the corner right now.
Yeah.
Big 3-game set against the Marion Berries. After winning 2 of 3 against the Elks, you don't get the sweep, but how big was that win, that series win?
Yeah, huge for us to get that win. Obviously to kind of get some revenge after a tough series in Bend, but to come out and take 2 or 3 from them at home and put us in a good spot. We find ourselves in a pretty similar spot as we came into the Bend series as far as the standings go.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean we did what we needed to do. We took care of business, and now we have another big one this weekend to try to finish off this second to last, I guess, week of the season.
You mentioned how big of a series it is. With 12 to go, the Marion Berries a game and a half back on the Sweets. Now you do take 2 of 3 in Marion, or rather in Salem. I don't even know if Marion's a real place.
It's a townie.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Was it in Marion, Salem?
Salem is in Marion.
All right, so I'm not completely wrong there. But you take 2 of 3. If you take the series, you also get the tiebreaker, and that's huge. Does that kind of come into your mind at all?
Yeah, definitely an important thing for us to hold over Marion. We put ourselves in a really good spot there in Salem. At Marion too. At Marion. So I think coming out and take care of business is big for us. It obviously, if we can take 2 or 3, it helps us to widen that gap, and then like you said, it gives us a tiebreaker. So definitely beneficial in more ways than one to come out and play well this series, and hopefully head into that last nine game stretch with some momentum and in the best possible position that we could put ourselves in.
You played the Berries less than a week ago. Any strategy that comes to that?
I think we talked about it when we were in Salem. We're two similar teams. We played some pretty tight ball games there on the road. Obviously, I like taking them on here at Royal SC Stadium at home. So that's a benefit, I would say, to the strategy of just having them in our ballpark now. But I think overall, it comes down to starting pitching, to getting us going on the right foot. Being able to play team offense, have productive outs, score runs, a lot of the stuff we've talked about throughout the entirety of the summer. I think it's an execution game of, hey, the teams that can execute the best and the most consistently are going to be the ones that take care of business. So that's what we're going to be looking to do out there.
You mentioned that starting pitching, Levi Anderson out on the hill. Kind of the trajectory he's been on has been going straight up.
Yeah.
Hopefully that continues today, but what do you expect out of him?
Yeah, excited to have Levi back on the mound. I think he does a good job of kind of setting the tone for us in a series, and so he's a great game 1 guy. A lot of the summer he was trying to throw in game 3s on Thursdays, and so now over the last couple weeks to see him flip to that game 1 coming out of the All-Star break, I think it's been great to have for us. And obviously he's had a couple good outings coming down, those last couple times out, and so I'm expecting nothing different. Come out, command the baseball, don't attack. Hopefully work a little bit more efficiently than we've seen out of a few guys and kind of some recent appearances.
Sure.
Especially at this point in the summer where you're trying to manage the bullpen, you're trying to make sure you have enough arms for every single day out there. Efficiency on the starting pitching is huge. How deep can we get a starter into the game without stretching the pitch count beyond what we want them to throw here in the summer? So. Efficiency, getting ahead early, making them hit pitchers' pitches versus getting their best swings off is going to be really important for us.
In yesterday's ball game, the Sweets put up 7 runs. It was 1 run in 7 separate innings.
Yeah.
On one side, you give up less errors, you have more base hits than the outs. On the other, you leave 14 runners in scoring position. Do you kind of take that as a win, but also, look, we got to be better in those situations?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a win in a lot of ways. We had consistent pressure on the Elks. We had runners in scoring position pretty regularly throughout that game, and yesterday it came down to, not getting the big hit that we would have liked to have get to give us a cricket number on the scoreboard in any of those innings. You have one kid on Bend and Sniffin who drives in 6 or 7, whatever it was, in 2 swings of the bat, and and for us, we were fighting to try to find a way to stretch one across every single inning. Right. So, yeah, great to put up 7, great to score in 7 innings. But, yeah, obviously we'd want to try to get that big hit with multiple runners in scoring position that kind of break that game open. I think about I think it was runners on second and third with no outs after scoring one, I believe, in the third inning, where we could have easily made that not just a 3-0 game where all of a sudden a 4-run inning for them puts them in the lead, but that could have easily been a 5-run, a 5-0 lead into the fourth inning, which I think maybe would have changed the complexion of that game.
Yeah, for sure. You mentioned these big hits. Nate Stuyvesant had himself a big day yesterday. Was hitting below the Mendoza line, and then all of a sudden explodes for 4 base hits, a big home run, his first in West Coast League play. Obviously, the kid is, just oozing with talent. Hasn't kind of put it all out there on the diamond, but how huge is that to kind of, see maybe the full picture kind of present itself yesterday?
Yeah, it did. And we knew what Nate was capable of, and like you said, we were kind of waiting to see it all get put together, and it was great to see him kind of explode in that way and kind of have a bit of a coming out party yesterday, which was awesome for him. Hopefully, see him back in the lineup today. Hopefully, he can keep that mojo rolling and have another good one for us tonight.
He hit a double and he had the 6-7 celebration. Is this over?
I don't think it's over. I think
it's not over. It's just Nate.
We're adding a few things to the toolbox, to the arsenal. So keep it fresh.
Nate's a funny guy.
He is a funny guy.
He's a funny guy, good baseball player as well. Back in the lineup today?
Yes.
Hopefully, hopefully that continues today against the Marion Berries. A 3-game set. Sweets a game and a half up on the Marion Berries. It's getting tense. End of the year, last push, 12 games left. It's got to be going through your mind a little bit that you can kind of start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I can. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think you can kind of start to see that last week. It's coming up quickly through the windshield, and so we're starting to see that, but also trying to make sure that we have a 1-game focus and take care of what we can control today when we show up to the park, and then let the result be what it is, and then go out and do it again tomorrow.
This brings us to our question of the day with manager of the Wall to Wall Sweets, Colby Watilo. Colby, if you weren't a baseball manager, coach, what would he be? In an ideal world, you're not an accountant. Like you could go to the moon if you want. What would it be?
I would say maybe like one thing I got to do a little bit is I was a fishing guide for a little while.
Nice.
In the summer, so maybe do that. Get out on the river and guide some fishing trips. That was fun.
Up in Alaska or?
I was in Central Oregon, which I think is a fun spot to be. But hey, Alaska, Montana, Oregon.
You could kind of do both. I feel like a little bit.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's actually what a lot of them do. Is they kind of move around depending on the season. So one season they're in one area, then the next season they move to a different. So probably seeing different parts of the other country.
Is there a chance you can be in baseball and also kind of do some of that non-recreationally, like be a guide?
Yeah, maybe if you were if you didn't have as much summer obligation and whatnot, and it's where you're at maybe like the high school level where there's not as much of a fall season, so you might be able to kind of make something like that work. But for now, it's just a recreational thing.
All right, catch and fish Colby over here. Hopefully the Swedes catch a win today against the Marion Berries. The first time the Berries are here at Borleski Stadium ever. Obviously, it's the first year the Marion Berries are in existence here in the West Coast League, and it's a huge series. 3-game set, first pitch, 6:35 p.m. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks, Drew. Go Swedes.